Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, my goal is at the end of this video is for you guys to find out how to become a social media manager and what that actually entails. So today I'm going to be joined by an amazing special guest who will give you guys the shortcuts and the tips. To make sure to watch until the end of this video so you guys can find out her own piece of advice when it comes to starting out as someone who's working online. If this is your guys' first time on my channel, my name is Lacaba. I am the virtual ate. I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home, so make sure to hit subscribe right there so you guys get all of my tips and shortcuts, and of course amazing interviews every Thursday with people who have worked from home and really exploded their own careers. Now today, our guest has been working from home for over 6 years. She started her digital career as a virtual assistant, as she didn't actually have any experience when it comes to being a VA like a lot of you guys. But determination really played a big part. As she got more clients, she had more experience. In 2015, she decided to level up her skills. Aside from being a virtual assistant, she started learning the nitty-gritty of being a social media manager, and in the past 5 years, she has now been able to handle more than 50 clients. As her way of giving back, she helps moms like her to get the opportunity to work from home while taking care of their kids. She's also a trainer for social media management and marketing for Filipina home-based moms, a support community that helps Filipino women find work from home. Finally, with passion as the foundation, she started a small yet driven social media agency with the focus on helping small to medium or even startup businesses grow brand awareness with their online presence. Hey guys, so without further ado, I would love to introduce you guys to our amazing guest for today, Miss Janelle Swing. Hi, Janelle.
Hi, Leah. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for being here and being so game for doing this interview. I know this job position specifically, a lot of people wonder how to get started on it and what do I actually do. So to get us like just rolling, how did you get started just working online in general, not even becoming a social media manager?
This was about 6 years ago. I heard from a friend of a friend when I was still working as a call center representative. I was a CSR. I heard that it's possible to actually work online. So in my mind, I was like, can you refer me to this company that you're working with, which is the usual, that's the usual thinking of us, is because that's how we get to know the companies that our friends are working for. And then I found out that you cannot be referred because they are working directly with their client. So I tried to search online and see how can I work from home? How can I actually work online with my laptop? And the reason behind it is I wanted to go back to school. I was able to save up enough for me to finally finish college, because I started working at 18. So by that time, I was wondering if I could go back. And so, I stumbled into Odesk. It was still Odesk before, but now it's called Upwork. That's where I actually started looking for jobs.
Awesome. So you definitely got started. Normally, how people usually you hear about like, hey, you're able to work from home, so that's really common. So for this one, for painting people a picture, what does a social media strategist or manager do?
So what we typically do is there are a lot of businesses out there, and their main marketing tool or marketing platform are social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, everything. And they don't have enough time to actually do it. So as a social media strategist, what I do is I create a strategy for them, create the content for them, schedule that content, monitor that, and actually engage with their audience, answer comments, or even reach out to potential influencers that are wondering how they can partner with these companies or businesses.
A lot of what you said, like I said, paints a really good picture, and I'm really curious about some of them. So you said that part of what you do is you create content, and a lot of people, creating content is the scary part. So does the client provide you the content to create? Is it something that, as you have a relationship with your client, you start help them create content? How does that figure out for people who are just starting out?
So what I usually do is I ask the client what are the types of content that they already have, and then from there I work through that. But usually they don't have lots of content, so it's gonna be you to actually invent and like be creative on how you can expand that content. Some people would have only like 10 blog posts, or like I only have 20 photos. So you have to
Mhm.
be creative on how you can manage to you actually use that content multiple times without being repetitive and posting the same thing. So
Mhm.
that's where strategy comes in, because when a client tells you I only have this content, you have to make sure that you can repurpose it, or you can find other content that will complement their content.
So part of it is kind of getting to know them and seeing what they already have. Part of it is knowing that that's part of what you're going to do. One of the things that you also mentioned that was, again, interesting is the part where you also help them reach out with influencers. How does that go about? Because I just did a video on if you're an introvert, you can be a social media manager, but then you're mentioning that you're also reaching out to influencers. How does that go about?
So reaching out to influencers isn't that hard. We sometimes overthink what it's
Mm-hmm.
about. It's just about giving them a proposal, looking for influencers that would match the company's or the client's brand and their
Mm-hmm.
voice, and if they are targeting the same people that the company is targeting. So it's about looking for the influencers and then reaching out to them, and it's not going to be like you have to call them or whatever, but it has to be like email or sending them a message on their Instagram. So being an introvert, you can definitely be in this. Like, this is my workspace, and I don't have anyone that comes in here besides my husband and my kid. But aside from
Mm-hmm.
that, I can like work in my own time. I can actually make sure that I have enough content to like go for like 2 or 3 weeks, and all I have to do is like monitor and engage. Being a social
Mm-hmm.
media manager or a strategist, it's about combining three different skills. That's strategic planning, which also involves being creative, graphic design, because you have to make sure that you have these appealing graphics,
Mm-hmm.
and copywriting, because you'll be the one to actually write the captions for the posts.
So that gives me a perfect leeway to talk about those three skills, because those are definitely, like, when I talk about like people like, okay, what does a social media manager do? And I try to like know a little bit of graphics, you get better at time, and then you don't have to be a little bit of a writer. But for you yourself, like when you started working online, what skill did you actually get started with? Was it directly becoming a social media manager, or what were you first hired for?
I was hired for a real estate virtual assistant. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know anything about graphic design, copywriting. I was fresh from the call center. I was fresh as a customer service representative. All I really knew what to do was to answer calls. So I was looking forward to that. But when I had my first job as a real estate virtual assistant, one of the things that I did there was also to handle his social media accounts, which
Mm-hmm.
helped me like be introduced to Canva, like writing the captions. And at first it wouldn't be as easy as it's right now, but there are a lot of platforms that will help you, like creating content, graphic design. There's a lot of templates, and there are these paraphraser tools that you can use,
Mm-hmm.
so you can write easier than wanting to like writing stuff for them.
Okay, so that's also a really good path for people, because of course when they get started they don't know where to start, how to start. I always actually give them advice of start by being a VA, because it exposes you to so many skills, and then you can start narrowing down. So with that, as you kind of started, because you said, for your client you were helping them with their social media, and you kind of found a little bit of wanting to know more of that craft, how did you get your first kind of actual job where you were a social media manager for someone?
When I was working as a real estate VA, I was thinking that I was actually in school. I was a full-time student, and I was working
Mm.
full-time as a real estate VA. So my time would be like I have to work from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. and I have
Yeah.
to wake up at 6:30 so I can go to school at 7:30.
Oh.
And then my school ends up at like 6. So I only have like 1 or 2 hours to snuck a little bit of sleep. So
Mm.
I wanted to get a better job that I can control my time. And that's when I started applying for more in Upwork. By the way, my first job, it took me about 2 or 3 weeks before someone actually offered me that job. And it wasn't like I applied for a real estate VA. I was trying to apply as a customer service representative, or like having that voice job where I can just answer calls or maybe make calls. But this client, I saw his job ad. It says, write a letter for $5. I was like, okay, that's $5. I could just write a letter. And I did that, and he sent the offer and all that. And then after a few days, after I sent the letter, he asked me, are you available if I need a VA? And I was like, okay, what does a VA do? I don't know. I searched YouTube and Google and all that. So I didn't really start with having like, unlike right now, there's a lot of online courses that will teach you how to do this, how to do that. Before it was just Google and YouTube who will like teach you how to do stuff. Maybe that's
Mhm.
the skill that I got started with, was being resourceful, because no one will actually teach you what to do things. It's all going to be you to do the things, to actually learn the things that you want to learn.
That's really powerful the way that you said that. 6 years ago and even like 10 years ago when I started working online, there was no resource on how to be a remote worker or how to work from home. It was all like, oh, what's PayPal? Oh, I had a client who wanted to pay me with Bitcoin before. Of course, at that time, we had no idea what I should have taken it, but but it's exactly what you said. There wasn't really this big of information as we have now. Like if you search virtual assistant on YouTube, I show up there, but also a ton of people now show up there. It's now a more thing. It is really up to you of like how you research, how you get into it. So in the last 6 years, what has been so far the most surprising thing about working online?
I think the most surprising thing for me is that there are a lot of people who will value you. Like even though if you yourself you don't believe in your skills, I didn't believe in my skills. I was charging like $3, $5 an hour for like 3 years. And then when I saw like a lot of people are actually charging so much and I have like more skills, why am I not doing that?
Mhm.
And there was this client who believed in me and she said, I see a lot of potential in you. She offered me like 3 times my rate. And that's
Wow.
when I started to like, okay, so I can charge that much and I'm only
Mhm.
doing this. So if I'm doing a lot more things, I can charge for more. That's really the most surprising thing about working online, because we were used in the corporate industry, we were actually used to, okay, this is the amount I'm offering you. This is what you'll get for the
Mhm.
work that you'll have. But this time we actually have the power to decline people who will offer us lower than what we want, and we can
True.
actually declare this is what I'm worth. So if you don't want to pay that, you can look for other people. I mean, there's a lot of businesses, there's a lot of clients. I can get a better client.
We're not limited anymore by just a local pool. We're not anymore limited by, just hopping from one office to the other. It's now literally all online. And, for people who are starting out, $2, $3 an hour, that's okay to start with because then you don't have the skills yet, you don't have the knowledge yet. And then, of course, as you go, as you learn more things, as you learn more shortcuts and more awesome things to do that you can do, then you can charge higher and then you can find clients who can afford it because not everyone probably can afford a higher rate, but then when you do find them, they will try to keep you forever, especially if you're kick-ass, right?
Yeah.
So that's definitely something to look forward to for a lot of people. So far for you, for being a social media strategist, for being a CEO of your own agency now, what has been kind of your favorite thing about it all?
I think it's because of the flexible job, flexible time. At the same time, I get to be creative and it's very challenging. I mean, being a social media manager, it's kind of repetitive, but when you see that something is not working, you have to be more creative on what would work better. It's always
Mhm.
about like, there's a time that you have to make sure you step up from your own game. So you have to make sure you are doing better than you did last month. So it's not
Mhm.
like that constant challenge and being as flexible as possible, wherein I can schedule the content for like a month in advance and I don't have to do anything else but to look for other clients or to
Mhm.
monitor them. So it's really been a really good job for me, being a freelancer and all.
That's definitely one of the biggest reasons why people go into working online anyway is the flexible hours. For me, for us, because we do have like a corporation in the Philippines, when I explain to people like, yeah, you can work at any time. You can work from home. You don't have to stick to the 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. You can work. Like we have some employees who when they get up at 7 o'clock, they're just going to bed and it's by choice. Like they're not forced. It's because they like staying up at night. So it's definitely the flexibility and like the you said it of like being able to challenge yourself, even though you're kind of used like, oh, there's a challenge. I like this challenge. I want to go even deeper to this.
Yeah.
So I
And of
definitely
course, the
agree.
monetary. I mean, we cannot, that's like the top one
Yeah.
favorite thing. Every freelancer is like in their mind. That's what have been driving us. A lot of freelancers are earning 6-digit
Mhm.
numbers every month, not every year, but every month. It's been that dream of every freelancer once they get into this game that I want to reach that. But they have to also to realize that it's a lot of hard work before you
Mhm.
reach that. It's a lot of hours for you to reach that. A lot of skills that you have to learn and experience. So yeah.
It's like anything in life. It's never a one hit wonder. It's never a overnight success. It's been 5 years of grinding and then overnight success maybe. So for with that, what would be like a piece of advice that you have found for yourself, for your own systems, or for your own the way that you run things that has made things working online just a little bit easier?
Templates. Whether it's graphic design templates or report templates or content plan templates, templates will make your life easier, because the thing with templates is that you can download as much, you can create as much templates as you want, but make sure it's always something different. Like if you are going to be using the same 10 graphics last month, you have to make sure that this month there's something different in them. So templates make it easier because it will like really give you less time to create what you want. At the same time, you already have a guide, so you can use that for every client that you meet, or it's going to be easier for you to like tweak that so it would sound like the client.
Yeah, basically, you don't really have to start from scratch every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, because not a lot of people think in that way of basically systems where it's automatic. Like, yeah, I just have this template already, or I don't have to create my invoice every time from scratch. You can just use
Yeah.
Canva for creating all of that. So if someone was going to start out as a social media manager, or if you met Janelle from 6 years ago and she was like, okay, I want to start, what would be a good piece of advice that you would give to her?
This is in general, actually. One thing would be, since this is the first time that you'll be changing your careers, and this is like the time that you have a choice what you'll pick. It's not going to be someone who, hey, this is a really good job, you should enroll this, you should apply to this job. But it's actually going to be you to tell yourself what you want and assess your own skills. What would you enjoy? What would be that type of job wherein when you wake up, you actually love what you're doing? Because it's always work. I mean, there's this saying, right, that if you love your job, you're never going to work a day in your life. It's still work, but at least you're going to be loving it. Every day it's going to inspire you and motivate you that I'm doing this today and I'm happy to do it. That's really the best advice that I can give, because no matter how much I tell people you should be a social media manager because you're good at this, you're good at that. But what if you don't enjoy it? As a freelancer, you have the freedom to actually choose what you want. You can have multiple skills, or you can just focus on one. You can offer it to a lot of clients or just offer it into one niche, one industry. So you have to decide for yourself, not base it on other people's journey, other people's opinion, but it's also always going to be about you. And there's no one who can tell you when you should start it, where you should start. It's going to be you to actually act on it.
Very true. It is a journey. It's not something where you can just follow someone's path and it'll be work for you, because it worked for them for a reason. Something else, small, it might be just a small little tweak. If for everyone who's using Canva, you might be the person who's just using Photoshop as an example. It's always different for people. What would be for anyone like a small step that they could take? Like with that piece of advice, they already have that, okay, I have to figure out my own way, my own path. What could be a small step that if they were just honing their craft, they really want to be in, social media manager, they want to become to your point where you're a social media strategist. I love that you plan content a month ahead. That's the dream. As a person who creates so much content every week, I'm like, that's the dream for me. What would be a small step that they can do right now if they want to really hone their craft in becoming someone who creates social media content?
Practice. That's really number one. It's up to you how you want to practice. If you want to write as much as you want or to create graphics as much as you want, but practice in a way that you are trying to create content for yourself. So practice in your own pages, create a Facebook page or create an Instagram page, try to get into Canva or Trello or whichever tool that you want for graphic design, and actually try to write things and strategize for yourself how you can grow your own page on your own way. Because it's really about putting your personality in your work, and there's no other client that you'll ever know part of yourself unless it's yours. It's so much easier to plan content when it's yours because you know what you want. So start with yourself so it's easier for you to do it for a client.
True. Plus then that becomes your portfolio. That becomes something that you show your client, like, hey, I was able to grow my Instagram from 1 follower to 1,000 in a month. So you become your own case study. So for now, for where you're at, what is your big, hairy, audacious goal? What's a goal that you are going towards that if you had all the resources and all of the support in the world, what would that look like?
I actually have two goals. One, of course, is monetary. So I want to double the income that I'm getting right now from my agency and from my own freelancing clients. Guys, I still make them separate. And my big, hairy, audacious goal is to actually launch an agency where after I train my students from becoming a social media manager, once they are certified, there's actually like a client waiting for them. So it's like a job matching. Like, let's say there are 75 graduates for July. There are 75 clients waiting for them, or maybe just half. Only those people are ready. So not a lot of these graduates will be ready to actually take on jobs. So I want to create that space wherein this is a start, because getting your first client, that will actually boost your confidence. Like, nothing will actually boost a newbie or a entry level social media manager, or even a VA, but getting their first client. That's the best step, because once you got that, you have the confidence. Oh, I already got this job. What's stopping me from getting another one?
That's amazing. That's definitely something that for me, like, I know you're a social media manager trainer. Like, you guys have this amazing is it every month, right?
Yeah, every month
we have batches every month. Yeah.
Yeah, we have about 50 to 100 moms that we help for to become social media managers, certified social media managers.
For a lot of people, that's definitely something that will boost their confidence of like, oh, I got a client that easy. Like, oh, who's next? Yeah. So how can others support you, or how can people find you? I put all of your links below, but like, tell people more of how they can reach out to you if they also want to be part of your training, or even if they want to hire you in your agency. How can people find you and support you?
Yeah, so I have a website. It's janelleswing.com. You can reach out there. You can book a call. If you're a client who wants to get my services or my agency services, you can book a call there. If you're a Filipina who would like to learn social media management, we are having monthly live and recorded webinars, paid and free webinars that you can join. We have a 1 month course if you want to become someone like me, because my goal is actually to duplicate myself. I want people to become social media managers and earn 6 digits a month, because that's really like the best outcome as a trainer, is having to duplicate yourself. And I want to do that every month. Go ahead and send me a message on my page or even on my personal profile. I would love to assist you and help you become what you want as a freelancer.
Awesome. So guys, I'll put in the description and also as the pinned comment so you guys can easily find the amazing Janelle. So thank you so much for this interview. You've given so many really good insights for anyone who wants to get started, even as just a VA at first to find your skill, or as a social media manager. So thank you so much, Janelle.
Thank you so much, Leanne. This was such a pleasure, and I'm really happy to do this.
Thank you. Again, guys, all of her links is going to be below. Make sure to check out Janelle. She has a lot of really good insights as a trainer herself for people who wants to get started becoming a social media manager. And also, if you guys have any favorite insights, of course, make sure to comment them below. And also, if you're thinking yourself of becoming a social media manager, comment below so people can see and maybe help you out. Make sure to leave a like if you guys really like this interview that I did, so I can bring in more amazing people on this channel. And of course, if you haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there. So again, you can get the tips every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home. Check out these other 2 videos that I have right here to get yourself started on your own digital career. Now, hope you guys have an awesome day, and remember that small steps matters. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.